Good evening. It is an incredible honor to be here and to celebrate CEH's 20th year. Given that I've known Michael since even prior to the start of CEH, and I'm so proud, Michael, of what you, your staff, your board, and all of your supporters have accomplished. Work that is protecting, as was mentioned, our children and all of us against some of the most serious toxins, whether it was lead in children's toys or jewelry, or arsenic in the play structures, or BPA in cans and baby bottles, or so much other work that CEH has done. And I'm so proud, as I said, to be here and celebrate with you. But why I'm really here, besides to continue my partnership with CEH, is the absolute honor to introduce to you the leader of my house, the State Senate, and the leader of California's resistance. So as I introduce to you our California State President Pro Tem, Kevin De León, let me tell you a little bit about him. He is the first president of our Senate of Latino and Chinese descent. And Senator De León, or Kevin as I know him, is an incredibly bold and courageous legislative leader. Incredible. His legislation to fund parks, to fund school energy efficiency, or even to direct the revenues that California is getting from our cap and trade system, have ensured that low-income Californians and communities that are disproportionately affected by pollution, that they get a much larger share of the pie, which so rarely happens, as you know, in our society. Pro Tem De León has focused on empowering low-income Californians and those who often are voiceless. He is, as I mentioned, fearless. He's championed bold and necessary policies, controls on gun and ammunition sales that are stronger than anywhere else in the country. He established California's Secure Choice Retirement Savings Program, which now the banking industry and Trump administration, the Republicans, are trying to destroy. So you know how good it must have been and how important that legislation was if it's their #1 hit bill beyond just the ACA kill, which they just did. He also is well known for his climate protection leadership. He authored SB 350, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with, which set 50% renewable energy target in California, doubled our target for energy efficiency, and would have doubled our reduction or reduced our use of petroleum by 50%, except the oil companies got to some of our members. So, but now, hey, Kevin doesn't take no for an answer. He's come back with his bill, SB 584, to give us 100% renewable energy. So let me now welcome to the stage Senate Pro Tem Leader Kevin De León.
Thank you so very much, Senator Skinner. I want to thank you very much for that very kind and warm introduction of my person. I also want to recognize your incredible leadership as a senator representing Alameda County as well as Contra Costa County. Nancy is an incredible leader and in her own right when it comes to energy efficiency as well as other clean energy policies as it relates to climate action. She is a bold and fearless leader as herself. She's an incredibly strong, resilient, and a woman who will be also leading the resistance right now and in the near future. So let's get up for Senator Nancy Skinner. Michael Green, I want to thank you very much for the very kind invitation to this amazing event. This is an incredible event. It's a reflection of who we are as a great state. I want to thank you very much for your incredible stewardship of this incredible organization and giving voice to those who have no voice. And I want to congratulate you on this incredible milestone as well. And this is truly a very powerful event, and I'm very humbled and honored to be here and just to have an opportunity to share a few words with each and every one of you here today. On behalf of the California State Senate, I want to thank you for 20 years of incredible service, educating and advocating on behalf of millions of Americans who struggle each and every day for basic human rights like clean water and clean air. You've been a very important ally here in California, especially in pursuing justice for the families whose lives were recklessly endangered by lead contamination from the Exide facility in my district in the city of Vernon in Southern California. So thank you very much once again, Michael. Now, for much too long, environmentalism in America was a pastime for the wealthy and the privileged. But today in California and in frontline communities across the nation, with the help of organizations like the one that you're supporting here tonight, and countless dedicated activists and leaders like Reverend Yearwood, we are redefining the environmental movement as we know it today. We are in fact democratizing the benefits of clean energy, teaching electric cars to speak Spanish, and working to make clean air and clean water a universal right. We are lifting people up. We are lifting people up with middle-class jobs, good middle-class jobs, and supporting working families throughout the great state of California. Clean energy now, and I want to underscore the following. Clean energy now is a pillar of our economy that employs over 500,000 Californians. In fact, today, there are nearly 10 times more clean energy jobs in California alone than there are coal mining jobs in the entire nation. We are shattering the old myth that toxic pollution is the unavoidable cost of prosperity. In fact, had I told you perhaps a few years ago that I would introduce a measure to require 100% clean energy for California, many folks would have called me crazy. But it's no longer a question of if, it's now only a question of when. We don't have to choose between a healthy environment and a very strong, healthy economy, and we're not willing to settle for either or. Of course, we still have a long way to go. This state is home to 6 of the 10 most polluted cities in the nation for air quality. Each year alone, over 3,600 Californians die prematurely because of air pollution. And in fact, asthma is the leading cause of public absenteeism in our public school system. Hundreds of thousands of Californians still struggle to have access to safe, clean drinking water. And now we face unprecedented challenges from Washington. A president and an EPA secretary, Administrator Scott Pruitt, who deny the reality of climate science, who follow alternative facts and pseudo-science nonsense, and cater to only special interests. So let me be very clear, my friends. We're going to have to fight harder than ever before. Now, I say this, lovingly to my friends in the baby boomer generation, but Watergate and Nixon is nothing like compared to today. In fact, Nixon would be a choir boy in comparison to President Trump. So we have no choice but to press forward. And we will use every legal and political means at our disposal to build on and to defend our progress as a great state. But I truly believe that history shows that America's darkest hours also reveal our finest moments. And now more than ever, we have to stand firm on our values, not just when it comes to our environment, but across the board. And what I mean by this is that we have to remain a leader when it comes to women's rights and workers' rights. LGBT rights, immigrant rights, voting rights and civil rights, economic and social justice, environmental protections and climate action, and access to our public schools and healthcare systems to all of those individuals, irrespective of who you are, where you come from, the hue of your skin, and yes, your legal status. Because ultimately, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said so eloquently, we are all tied in a single garment of destiny. In other words, this is the most incredible state and the most incredible nation in the world. This is a beautiful mosaic, an amazing tapestry of so many different hues and ethnicities from every color, from every creed, from every corner of this great world. And in this state, we celebrate who we are. We celebrate the differences because we celebrate diversity. In this state of California, we don't ban it, we don't wall it, and we don't deport diversity. That's not who we are as a great state. And that's what makes America great. A place where the children of Irish immigrants fleeing famine, the descendants of slaves torn from their homeland, refugees escaping persecution and war, can live freely together, pursue happiness, work hand in hand, all be equal before the law to build the world's strongest economy. Now, more than ever, because these are extraordinary times, and they do require extraordinary action. Oftentimes, people ask me, whether it's the New York Times, the Washington Post, or CNN, what is your strategy? My strategy is very simple and it's very straightforward. To do everything within my power as a leader of the Senate, working with amazing colleagues like Senator Nancy Skinner and others, to do everything within our power to protect our economic prosperity, our progressive values, and our people. It's that simple and it's that straightforward. Now, what are the tactics? Tactics vary across the board. When it comes to climate action, we will continue to engage with other subnationals and other leaders from throughout the world. When it comes to environmental protections, the clean air and clean water that we drink and that we breathe into our lungs every single day. Now, we will fight Scott Pruitt and the EPA, and we will meet them in a court of law. And that's why I hired Eric Holder. And that's why I've hired the former top lawyer of the United States of America, the former Attorney General, the Department of Justice, Eric Holder, to be our legal counsel. To fight them in a court of law if need be. And also, too, it's policy, preemptive strikes through the California State Legislature, through the California Values Act, making sure that we don't separate children from their mothers and mothers from their children. That's not who we are as a great state. So, more than ever, we need to come together. We need to stand for each other. We need to back each other up. We need to support each other. This is not a time where we're siloed out and segregated, where it's the Women's March over here, and where it's the Climate Scientists March over there, and it's the Environmental Protection March over there, and it's the Muslims over there, and it's LGBTQ over there. This is a time where we all have to come together and support one another, because it is part of the ecosystem we call the great humanity of the greatest state and the greatest nation in the world. This is who we are. And the leaders are in this room. They're not just political leaders. They're not political leaders. They're nonprofit leaders. They're leaders from the entrepreneurial class, from the academic class, they're community-based organizations. They're from the faith space. This is who we are, all of us together, collectively as leaders backing each other up. In conclusion, I want to say to each and every one of you, now this may impact you at a personal level, it may impact your children, or perhaps a neighbor or a loved one. But let me be very clear here, that irrespective of the outcome of this presidential election, no one man or one political party are going to change the values of who we are as a great state. We are the 6th largest economy on planet Earth. There's only 5 larger economies. There are only 5 larger economies larger than the state of California. The United States as a whole, in the aggregate, China, Japan, Germany, depending on a good day, on the valuation of the sterling, it is the United Kingdom. And it is your great state, the state of California, the 6th largest economy in the world. And if you are remotely curious or interested in rounding out the top 10, obviously it is France, it is Brazil. It is a nation that has been in the news quite frequently and probably will be so in the foreseeable future. It is Russia, and then it is Italy. So California's economy is larger than that of Vladimir Putin's Russia, to put this in context. And it's the policies that we move forward. Nancy Skinner moves forward, and other colleagues in both the Senate as well as the Assembly, working closely with Governor Jerry Brown, collectively together. The policies that we move forward that send the right market signals, that attract the necessary capital, that helps us create the technologies necessary to meet our ambitious target goals. We're exporting our climate leadership from throughout the world, not just the United States, but throughout the world. That's why we have the Chinese, the Mexicans, the Canadians, the Germans, and others who come to the state capitol almost on a monthly basis to learn from us and what we're doing. And, you know, we can learn from others as well, too. We're humble enough to know that we can learn from others, too. But I want to say this, to those who have been bullied, who have been demeaned, who have been downsized, or told outright that they are dispensable just because they're different. The state of California is a state that will always be with you. We will never abandon you. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each and every one of you for giving me this opportunity to share a few words. God bless you, and God bless the state of California. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.